Look, I have trained over 6,000 warriors across 43 star systems. Right, 6,000. I have turned soft academy recruits into hardened soldiers, transformed cowards into heroes, and made legends out of nobodies. My name is Kral'vex, Master Instructor of the Zenthari Combat Academy, holder of the Crimson Blade distinction, and 3-time champion of the Galactic Martial Games. So yeah, I think I know a thing or two about fighting. And humans? Oh, don't even get me started on humans. These little Deathworld babies everyone keeps talking about, these so-called terrifying primates from Earth, the ones who supposedly changed everything in the frontier wars. They got lucky, pure and simple, right place, right time, right amount of stupid to charge when anyone with sense would retreat. That is not skill, that is just recklessness with good PR. I mean, come on, look at them. They are barely taller than a Quillen, they have got no natural armor, no venom, no claws worth mentioning. And they die if you just change the temperature too much. Deathworld survivors, more like participation trophy recipients. But sure, everyone wants to act impressed now. So naturally, when the human exchange program dumps Lieutenant Jessica Harper into my advanced combat class, I see it for what it really is, an opportunity sent straight from the universe itself. She walks into my training hall on a Tuesday morning, all 5 feet and maybe 4 inches of her, wearing that ridiculous human military uniform with the little patches and medals. She is smiling, actually smiling, like she just walked into a coffee shop instead of the most intense combat academy in 3 sectors. Her hair is pulled back in this neat little ponytail, and she has got these bright green eyes that just sparkle with friendliness. Perfect. My students, 20 of the finest warriors in training, stop their drills to stare. I can see Timora, my second in command, already shaking her head in the corner. She knows what I am thinking. Lieutenant Harper, I say, projecting my voice across the hall, making sure every student hears this. Welcome to the Zenthari Combat Academy, where we teach real fighting, not the watered-down nonsense from your, what do you call it, basic training? She just smiles wider. Thank you, Instructor Kral'vex. I have heard so much about your program. Oh, she is polite too. This gets better and better. Tell me, Lieutenant, how would you like a proper demonstration? A real fight, you and me, full contact sparring. Show my students what human combat training looks like. I wait for the panic, the excuses, the nervous laughter. Instead, she tilts her head slightly, still smiling, and says, sure, when do you want to start? That calm voice, that relaxed posture. The poor thing has no idea what she just agreed to. All right, students, gather around, I announced, gesturing to the sparring circle in the center of the hall. Today you are going to witness a very important lesson about the difference between reputation and reality. My students form a ring around the mat, their expressions ranging from excitement to okay, a few look worried, probably worried for the human. I begin my pre-match lecture, the one I have given 1,000 times. Proper combat is built on 3 pillars: discipline, technique, and endurance. It is not about wild aggression or lucky shots. It is about reading your opponent, controlling the flow of battle, and demonstrating superior skill over time. Jess, meanwhile, is in the corner doing these weird stretches. She pulls one leg behind her head, no wait, not behind, just up to her chest, then rolls her shoulders like she is loosening up for a morning jog. Then she sits down and starts checking her boots, tightening the laces with this focused expression. Instructor, she calls out, still messing with her boots. Quick question, where is the nearest medical facility? Like how far is the walk? I laugh. The students laugh. Do not worry, Lieutenant, we have medical staff on site. Standard procedure. You will be fine, just some bruises probably. Oh no, she says, standing up and doing this little hop bounce thing. I was asking for you. The students go quiet. I just smile. Oh, she has got jokes. Adorable. Timora walks up to me, her tail twitching in that way that means she is annoyed. To Kral'vex, I really think you should reconsider this. Why? It is just a sparring match. I read the human military files last night, she says quietly. Their hand-to-hand training is different. Very different. Different? How? Different like they use strongly worded language? I wave her off. Timora, she is half my size and she looks like she teaches kindergarten. What is she going to do? Smile me to death. Instructor Vorn from the Tactical Division leans over the railing from the observation deck. Kral'vex, you absolute idiot. Do not fight the human. Too late. Shout back. Already committed. Cannot back out now. It would look bad. Jess finishes her stretches and walks to the center of the mat, rolling her neck, still smiling. Still way too calm. I step onto the mat and assume the 9th form of Zenthari combat. The traditional opening stance, feet shoulder-width apart, weight balanced, hands open and ready. I have done this 10,000 times. This is ceremony. This is respect. This is how warriors acknowledge each other before battle. I give her the customary bow, lowering my head exactly 15 degrees, holding for the appropriate 2 seconds. Jess does not bow back. She just stands there, weight on the balls of her feet, hands loose at her sides, watching me. Not watching my eyes either. She is watching my shoulders, my hips, my center of mass. Like she is doing math in her head. Weird, but okay. Ready when you are, instructor, she says. I circle right, demonstrating proper footwork for my students. See, this is how you maintain distance. This is how you control the ring. This is how you set up your attack. I am teaching even while fighting, because that is what a master does. I throw a straight punch, about 60% power, aimed at her shoulder. This is a teaching demonstration after all, not an actual attempt to hurt her. Just enough to show her the difference in our levels, let her try to block. Then I will follow up with a sweep and she is not there anymore. My fist goes through empty air. She moved maybe 3 inches to the left, just enough, and suddenly she is inside my guard. How did she? When did she? Okay, impressive. Good reflexes. I will give her that. I reset my stance, circle again. My students are watching closely. Good. Let them see how you adapt to a faster opponent. I feint at left, then shoot in for a grab, aiming to control her arm and demonstrate a basic takedown. This is textbook stuff. She will try to pull away. I will use her momentum against her. Her hand moves. Not a block, not a dodge. Her fingers go straight for my eyes. I jerk my head back on pure instinct, and in that half second of distraction her other hand slams into my throat. Not hard enough to crush, but hard enough that I actually cough. Then her knee comes up, fast, aimed directly at my groin. I twist, barely getting my leg in the way, and her shin crashes into my thigh instead. That is going to bruise. What the? She has not stopped moving, not even for a second. No reset, no stance, no ceremony. She is just attacking, continuously. Her elbow comes around toward my ribs. I block it, and her other hand is already clawing at my face. Actual clawing, fingernails and everything. This is not sparring. This is not even fighting. This is something else entirely, and my brain is having a really hard time catching up to what my body already knows. I am in serious trouble here. Okay, breathe, reset, get your guard up. This is fine. You have been in tough fights before. You have faced opponents who would. Her palm slams into my nose. Not a punch, a palm strike, straight up from below, and my eyes water instantly. I stumble back and she follows, staying so close I cannot get my reach advantage back. Every time I try to create distance, she closes it in half a second. I throw a hook, proper form, textbook perfect. She ducks under it and her teeth, her actual teeth, sink into my forearm. What they? I yell, yanking my arm back. She let go, but there are tooth marks. Actual bite marks. You just bit me. You said full contact. She shouts back, and then her fingers jam into my armpit, some kind of pressure point I did not even know existed, and my entire left arm goes numb, just, completely useless, hanging there like a dead fish. My students are dead silent, 20 warriors in training, not one of them making a sound. I can see their faces, shock, confusion, horror. Tamora has her hand over her mouth. I try to grab Jess with my good arm, tried to use my superior strength to just, I do not know, bear hug her or something. She drops low, and I mean low, almost to the floor, and sweeps my legs. I go down hard, hitting the mat with my shoulder, and before I can roll away she is on top of me. Not in a grappling position, not in any position I have ever trained for. She has got her forearm across my throat, her knee on my chest, and her other hand is doing something painful to the nerve cluster behind my ear. How does she even know that is there? We barely know that is there. I try to buck her off. She weighs nothing. This should be easy, but every time I move she shifts her weight and applies more pressure somewhere that makes my body just stop cooperating. It is like she has a manual for my nervous system and she is just pushing all the override buttons. I manage to twist halfway over, getting my good arm under me, trying to push up. She goes for my eyes again. Actually tries to thumb them. I jerk my head to the side and her fingernails rake across my cheek, drawing blood. Are you insane? I gasp out. Are you done? She replies, way too calm for someone who is currently trying to blind me. I throw her off, finally. Using every bit of strength I have got, she rolls with it, comes up on her feet instantly, not even winded. I am breathing hard, bleeding from 5 different places, my arm is still half numb, and she looks like she just finished a light warm-up. My combat training is screaming at me. Block, counter, maintain form, use technique, fight with honor. Her training apparently screams something very different. It screams end this now, end this fast. Use everything, no rules, only winning matters. I have been in hundreds of fights, tournaments, wars, training exercises, street brawls on 6 different planets. I have never not once felt like prey before. Until right now. Wait. I hold up my hand, backing up to the edge of the mat. Time out. We need to establish some ground rules here. Jess stops, cocks her head to one side, and I swear I see her smile get wider. Oh, you wanted rules? Huh. That is funny. Should have mentioned that before challenging the Deathworlder to a what did you call it? A real fight. My students are not even pretending to hide their reactions anymore. A few are wincing. One is taking notes. Notes, like this is a learning opportunity instead of a complete disaster. I mean basic sparring protocol, I say, trying to sound authoritative while also bleeding from my cheek. No eye gouging, no biting, no strikes to certain areas. So not a real fight then, she says, bouncing slightly on her toes. More like a dance with rules and courtesy breaks. Got it. Would you like some tea too? Maybe we can discuss philosophy between rounds. The sarcasm is thick enough to cut with a knife, and I absolutely deserve it. I am just saying there is a difference between combat and I gesture at my bleeding arm. Whatever that was. That was me being nice, she says flatly. You want to see not nice? No, let us just continue. Properly this time. I get back into my stance, the 3rd form this time. More defensive. I am going to use proper technique, show her that real skill beats wild aggression, demonstrate to my students that discipline always. She moves. I do not even see it happen. 1 second she is 5 feet away. The next her fist is in my solar plexus and all the air leaves my lungs in a whoosh. I double over and her elbow comes down on my back. I hit the mat face first. Quick reaction drill. Variation 6. She announces cheerfully, like she is teaching a class. Target presents opening, exploit immediately. No hesitation, no telegraphing, no wasted movement. I push myself up, get to one knee, try a leg sweep because that is a solid honorable technique that, she jumps it, lands on my shoulders, and suddenly I am face down again with her knee in my spine and my arm twisted behind me in a lock that is approximately 1 degree away from breaking something important. Counter to low attacks. Lesson 3, she continues in that same cheerful instructor voice. Elevation change, dominant position acquisition, joint manipulation for control. I tap the mat. Twice. The universal signal for submission. She does not let go. Instructor Kral'vex, she says sweetly. I cannot hear tapping. In a real fight your opponent will not hear tapping either. You need to verbally submit or go to sleep. Your choice. My students are staring. Tamora is recording this. She is actually recording this. I submit, I gasp out. I submit, okay, you win, let go. She releases immediately, pops up to her feet, and offers me her hand. I stare at it for a long moment, then take it. She pulls me up like I weigh nothing. Wait, I already submitted. The outline said the match ends with a chokehold, but we just did the submission. Let me adjust this to fit the flow properly. Actually, I am not up for long. She still has my wrist. and before I can even process what is happening, she pivots, steps behind me, and her arm snakes around my throat. Not aggressive, almost gentle really, but suddenly I cannot breathe properly, at all. I reach up to pull her arm away, cannot budge it. I try to throw her off my back. She is locked on like a mechanical vice. I attempt the standard chokehold defense, tuck my chin, turn into the hold. Everything I have taught 1,000 students. Nothing works. My vision starts to get fuzzy around the edges. My lungs are screaming. I am tapping her arm, slapping it repeatedly, but she is not letting go. Why is she not letting go? I submitted already, this is not, I cannot. Her voice is right in my ear, quiet, almost conversational. This fight has been over for 30 seconds, instructor. I have been waiting for you to actually tap out properly. You know, verbally, like I asked. 30 seconds? She has been holding me in a position to end this for 30 seconds? Just, what, waiting politely while I flailed around like an idiot. Yield, I choke out. Barely a whisper. I yield, please. The pressure releases instantly. I drop to my knees, gasping, coughing, my throat burning. She steps back, gives me space, and I notice her hands are not even shaking. She is not breathing hard. There is not a single drop of sweat on her forehead. She looks like she could do this 4 more times before lunch. I stay on my knees, staring at the mat, and the humiliation burns so much worse than any of my injuries. I have been training warriors for 2 decades. I have fought in 3 actual wars. I have sparred with champions and defeated masters. And I just got completely, utterly, systematically destroyed by someone who probably shops in the petite section. Jess walks to the center of the mat, addresses my students directly. Her voice is clear, professional, no mockery in it at all. Earth's combat philosophy is pretty simple, she says. We do not train to fight, we train to win. Fights are not entertainment, they are not sport, they are not about honor, or looking good, or demonstrating superior technique over time. They are life or death situations that need to end fast, before you get hurt, before your friends get hurt, before the situation gets worse. She glances at me, still on my knees. But so, every second a fight continues, is another second, something can go wrong. You can get tired, you can make a mistake, reinforcements can show up, weapons can get involved. So our doctrine is simple, end it immediately, end it with whatever works. Bite, scratch, go for the eyes, the throat, the groin, break fingers, collapse knees, do not stop until the threat is neutralized. One of my students, a young Ravnik named Tor, raises his hand hesitantly. But what about honor? What about fighting with dignity? Jess's smile disappears completely. You know what is dignified? Going home alive. You know what has honor? Protecting the people who depend on you. Dead warriors do not have honor. They are just dead. She helps me to my feet, again still way too strong for her size. Good match, instructor, she says quietly. You have got great technique, really solid fundamentals. But you have been teaching sport fighting. I grew up learning survival. My throat is too raw to respond properly, so I just nod. She pats my shoulder, gentle, almost friendly. It somehow makes everything worse. The medical bay smells like antiseptic and my own wounded pride, which apparently has a very specific scent. Tamora is dabbing something that stings on the scratches across my cheek, and she is not even trying to hide her grin anymore. Do not say it, I mutter. I am not saying anything, she replies, but her tail is twitching with suppressed laughter. I am just thinking very loud thoughts about how I specifically warned you, and you specifically ignored me, and now you specifically look like you lost a fight with an angry house cat. She bit me, Tamora. She actually used her teeth. Yes, I saw that part. Everyone saw that part. Vorn recorded it, and already sent it to the instructor group chat. You are very famous now. I groan and let my head fall back against the medical bed. Through the window I can see the hallway, and that is when I notice them. Humans, lots of humans. They have apparently been here the whole time, walking around the academy, and I just never paid attention. There is a group of 3 in maintenance uniforms, laughing about something, looking completely relaxed. One of them is a woman, maybe 50 years old, gray hair, smile lines around her eyes. She is carrying a toolkit that probably weighs 40 pounds like it is empty. Two human Marines walk past, talking about lunch plans. They move with this casual awareness, eyes tracking everything, but their body language is loose, friendly. One of them nods at me through the window. I nod back, and only now does it occur to me that I have never seen either of them actually train. Where did they learn to fight? Do they even need to train, or is it just built in? A human scientist. Badge says his name is Dr. Marcus Webb, stops by the medical bay door. I heard there was a sparring match. Everyone okay? The instructor had a learning experience, Tamora says, way too cheerfully. Ah, Dr. Webb nods knowingly. Who was it? Let me guess, Harper. How did you know? I croak out. Jess is the one who usually volunteers for demonstrations. She is good at, calibrating for different species. Not too rough. He adjusts his glasses. You should see Kowalski spar. He does not calibrate. Wait, I sit up, ignoring the pain. Lieutenant Harper is not your best fighter. Dr. Webb actually laughs. Jess. No man, she is just regular army. Infantry officer standard combat training. Good at her job but nothing special by our metrics. My brain is struggling to process this information. Standard training. That was standard. Yeah, pretty much what everyone gets in basic. Well, maybe a bit more polished since she is an officer and has a few years in, but yeah. He shrugs. Why? What did you expect? Tamora is looking at me now, and I can see the exact moment she realizes what I am realizing. Kral'vex, she says slowly, if Lieutenant Harper is standard military, what are the special forces humans like? Dr. Webb gets this look on his face, like he is trying to figure out how to explain something complicated to a child. Okay, so you know how Jess fights to end things quick. Special operations folks, they fight to end things before the other person knows a fight started. Totally different mindset. Those are the ones who make horror movies look like comedies. He waves goodbye and walks off, leaving me sitting there with a horrible dawning understanding. Every human I have ever met has been holding back. Not just a little, massively. That maintenance worker who apologized for bumping into me last week probably could have thrown me through a wall. The human chef in the cafeteria who always gives extra portions, almost certainly knows 40 ways to kill with kitchen utensils. The friendly human librarian who helps students find research materials. I am suddenly very aware I have no idea what she did before working here. Tamora, I say quietly, how many humans are stationed at this academy? She checks her datapad. 23 currently. Exchange program. Research partnerships. Liaison positions, support staff. 23 apex predators, just wandering around being polite, smiling, helping with homework, fixing equipment, doing paperwork. And every single one of them has been pretending to be harmless. For our benefit. I think I need to lie down, I mumble. You are lying down. Then I need to lie down more. 2 weeks later, I am standing in front of my advanced combat class with a completely revised curriculum and a significantly adjusted attitude. All right everyone, new lesson plan. I announce, and I can see my students exchange nervous glances. They have heard about the incident. Everyone has heard about the incident. There is apparently a highlight reel. Everything I taught you before about honorable combat, forget it. Not all of it, okay? The conditioning stuff is still good. The footwork, the basic mechanics, keep all that. But the philosophy, the whole fight with dignity and demonstrate superior techniques approach, throw it out. Completely out. Tor raises his hand. But instructor, you said that honor in combat is what separates warriors from savages. Yes. And I was wrong. Very, very wrong. Survival has no rules. Survival does not care about your honor. And survival definitely does not wait for you to demonstrate your superior technique. I gesture to the door. Which is why I have brought in a co-instructor. Lieutenant Harper, please come in. Jess walks in, carrying training pads and wearing a smile that makes half my students lean back slightly. She waves, hey everyone, good to see you all again. The class goes silent. You could hear a pin drop. You could hear a pin think about dropping. Lieutenant Harper is going to teach you what actual combat training looks like. I continue. Not sport fighting. Not tournament rules. Not ceremonial dueling. Real practical get home alive fighting. And before anyone asks, no, you do not get to challenge her. I already did that. It went poorly. We all saw the footage. Let us not repeat my mistakes. Over the next 3 hours, Jess systematically breaks down everything my students thought they knew about fighting. She teaches them that pretty techniques lose to fast techniques every single time. She demonstrates that 2 seconds of ugly, brutal efficiency beats 20 seconds of elegant form. She shows them pressure points they did not know existed, explains why going for the eyes is always a valid option, and proves that size advantage means nothing if you do not know how to protect your weak points. My students are horrified, then fascinated, then eager. The frontier wars, I tell them during a water break. We all thought the humans got lucky. We thought they won because they had better ships, better technology, better numbers. We were wrong. They won because while we were trying to outfight each other, they were trying to end fights. We brought sport mentality to an extermination scenario. They brought extermination mentality to everything. Jess is showing a group how to escape a rear chokehold. Your attacker wants you unconscious or dead, right? So you have got maybe 4 seconds before you pass out. You do not have time for fancy reversals. You go for whatever you can reach. Eyes, throat, groin, stomp the instep, bite the arm, headbutt backwards, all of it at once if possible. Make them let go, then run or finish it. No middle ground. One student, Avrelian named Shox, looks genuinely disturbed. This seems, I do not know, excessive. You know what is excessive? Jess replies. Tying because you fought fair, and the other guy did not. That is excessive. That is permanent excessive. I watch my students practice, really practice, not the ceremonial movements but the brutal practical techniques. They are learning what I should have taught them from the beginning. The humans did not get lucky. We just never realized we were playing completely different games. 3 months into the new program, I am watching a fresh batch of students go through their first day, and right on schedule some cocky kid, a Thorian named Vrek, steps up to Jess with that look. That same look I had. The I can take her look. Lieutenant, he says, puffing out his chest. I have studied 17 different martial arts. I would like to request a demonstration match. Oh no. Oh buddy, no. Jess just smiles that smile. Sure. When do you want to start? I do not even bother warning him. He will learn. They all learn. 30 seconds later, Vrek is tapping out from a joint lock that looks like it was invented by someone who hates joints. Jess helps him up, cheerful as always, and launches into her standard speech about survival versus sport. I lean back against the wall, arms crossed, watching this play out exactly like it did with me, and I cannot help but appreciate the irony. I wanted to prove humans were not special, that they were just overhyped, lucky, regular fighters who got a good PR team. Mission accomplished, Kral'vex. Mission absolutely accomplished. Turns out they are not special. They are terrifying. Every single one of them, from the Marines to the engineers to the librarian, who I now know for a fact did 3 tours in something called reconnaissance before retiring to academy life. They are all walking nightmares, who learn to smile and shake hands and blend in with civilized society. And the scariest part? The part that keeps me up at night sometimes? They are still being nice about it. This, what Jess does in class, what she did to me, what she is doing to Vrek right now. This is them being gentle. I really hope I never see what not gentle looks like.